you are partnering or going into insurance carriers or brokers and pitching, is there like a surprise or a shocked moment when they run a pilot with you and they have no idea how inaccurate maybe some of their book was, or like what's that process like when you're selling this underwriting automation solution to them? Like what are they looking for? What are you actually solving for them?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And this is a, pretty subjective data point in many ways, which is interesting. Like the three of us could look at a business and like, depending on sometimes how we feel, kind of grade them differently. I mean, and that's the reality of how it goes, right? They're human underwriters looking at things and human brokers also looking at things. So context really matters as when you're grading, right? So I think for us, honestly, it's much more about them buying into you versus like the hard, like pilot, because there isn't a one-to-one answer a lot of the times. And if you're like comparing us to something that the underwriter did last year, right? They graded it, like, no offense to underwriters at all, right? They do a lot of different things, but they get this data point wrong a lot, like, as any person would when they're going through things. So we try to I think with us, at least at this point, we have enough customers that keep using us and renewing us and all that to say like, this is impactful, this is effective. You're probably running around 50% accuracy right now. We're in the like 80s to 90s, depending on input. So like, that's just, you're going to get significant gains. And at this point, buy into our methodology and what we've kind of proved versus like, let's look at us versus that. It's like when it starts getting into that, I understand there's a need and we're happy to do them. It's just, it always has to come with the caveat of like, look, like that's not really the right way, in our opinion, to judge this. The real way to judge is put it into production over time and see the gains that you get and measure that way. It's imperfect, but insurance is I think one advantage is it is a trust relationship industry. And this translates to that as well. And it's not a fast or first mover, right? So the fact that I can say, we have Liberty Mutual and blah, 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 like a lot of different other large carriers, customers, goes an incredibly long way. And then the customers vouch for you. And so I think that to me is more important. And even in the pilot, like testing stage of like, look, here's how we do it. Here's what we do. Are we perfect? No, absolutely not. This is really hard. But guess what? We're the only team 100% focused on it being right. So we're incentivized to be as good as possible. And you want that too. So we're aligned in terms of how we like want to work together.